Hi, my name is Tony Beam, and I serve as the Senior Director of Church and Community Engagement for the Tim Brazier campus of North Greenville University, where Christ makes the difference. I also serve as the Director of Public Policy for the South Carolina Baptist Convention. And that's how I want to talk to you today for just a couple of minutes. I want to bring you up to date on some bills that we're dealing with and that we need your help, because this is a constitutional republic. It's a we the people form of government. So we need the people to help us, and you need to help us by telling your people about these bills and what they mean. I want to start with S531. That's called Save Our Women's Sports, or just Save Women's Sports. It's now a Senate bill. It failed twice in the House of Representatives in South Carolina. There were 6 Republicans that voted against it in the House Judiciary Committee and prevented that bill from progressing in the last session. So Save Women's Sports, when we come back in January, is going to be in the Senate. It's now in the Education Subcommittee, which is chaired by Senator Richard Cash, and we need your support. This bill protects biological females from having to compete against biological males. It would prevent that from happening in South Carolina in middle schools and high schools. Now, sometime between now and January, we're going to try to amend that bill or to change the language so that it also includes colleges, because the NCAA has threatened, of course, to boycott states that pass a bill like this. But since then, states like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Tennessee that has a bill going through the pipeline, Florida that's passed a Save Women's Sports bill, have all passed these bills, and the NCAA has backed off of these threats. So South Carolina needs to include colleges to protect women's sports. So that bill is Save Women's Sports. It's S531 if you're referencing it when you talk to your senator or your House member. A second bill that we need to talk about is the Compassionate Care Act. Now, that bill is misnamed because the Compassionate Care Act, S150, is actually a bill about medical marijuana. It would make it legal in South Carolina. You would have to obtain a card. You need to understand, marijuana is still a narcotic that is against the law. So doctors can't prescribe it. Pharmacists can't dispense it. There's going to have to be a whole separate system that's set up and monitored and administered by DHEC in order to make medical marijuana a reality in South Carolina. Medical marijuana is a gateway in the same way that marijuana is a gateway drug to more dangerous drugs. Medical marijuana is a gateway bill to open up recreational marijuana in South Carolina. And all you have to do is go look at some of the statistics from Colorado that decided to go in the direction of recreational marijuana, and to see that recreational marijuana would be a disaster for our state. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is opposed to this. The South Carolina Medical Association is opposed to this. And of course, we as South Carolina Baptist, I would encourage us to stand up against this bill. It's S150. And you need to contact your senator, because this bill will come up for a vote in January, very early in the session. When we get back in January with the legislative session, the Senate will be taking this up almost immediately. So please contact your senator and tell them to vote against S150. We don't need medical marijuana in South Carolina. That's a misnomer. The final bill I want to talk about for just a minute is S3620, and it's the hate crimes bill. Hate crimes bill has been modified. It's been amended several times to make it much better. We took out elements that would allow civil penalties, civil litigation between people who believe they've been offended by speech. That's been taken out of the bill. Any reference to the Bostock Supreme Court decision, which could link hate crimes to work, so that you could actually have the possibility of Christian organizations being called on the carpet if they hire Christians, if they don't hire people that have a different opinion than a Christian understanding of sexuality. So all of that's been taken out. The only thing that's left in the hate crimes bill that we would like to see amended is that it includes sexual orientation as a protected category. What we'd like to see is just the 6 main categories that are protected under the Civil Rights Act. We don't need to add sexual orientation as a protected class. Once that gets codified into law in South Carolina, that's going to open up the door for people to use that to move toward hate speech. They're going to move toward laws that would affect religious liberty. And so sexual orientation, we believe, needs to come out, and then we could support the hate crimes bill. If you have questions about this, please don't hesitate to email me. It's tbeam@ngu.edu. I'll be glad to respond. If you'd like to talk on the phone, I'll be glad to do that and answer any questions you may have. One thing I would like to remind you, there is an application you can put on your smartphone that is SC Legislature. If you go to the App Store and download SC Legislature, it will allow you to monitor all debates taking place in subcommittees in the South Carolina Senate and the South Carolina House. You can look up the text of a bill and read it in its entirety. You can monitor its progress. You can even set it up so that the application will give you alerts when a bill is moving and some action has been taken. You can also find all of your information that you need about your House member and your Senate member in the South Carolina legislature. So go to the App Store. I would encourage you. It's a free app. Download it and use it to track legislation in South Carolina. God bless you, and thank you for listening to me today.